Welcome to Don Bosco in a Year podcast.
The following Sunday, my mother and I went along to see him. He undertook to take me for one lesson a day. To keep Anthony happy, I was to spend the rest of the day helping him in the fields. He was pleased enough with the scheme because my classes would not start till the autumn when the rest of the field work would be over. I put myself completely into Father Calasso's hands. He had become chaplain at Murialado only a few months before. I bared my soul to him. Every word, thought, and act I revealed to him promptly. This pleased him because it made it possible for him to have an influence on both my spiritual and temporal welfare. It was then I came to realize what it was to have a regular spiritual director, a faithful friend of one's soul. I had not had one up till then. Amongst other things, he forbade a penance I used to practice. He deemed it unsuited to my age and circumstances. He encouraged frequent confession and communion. He taught me how to make a short daily meditation, or more accurately, a spiritual reading. I spent all the time I could with him. I stayed with him on feast days. I went to service mass during the week when I could. From then on, I began to savor the spiritual life. Up to then, I had acted in a purely mechanical way, not knowing the reasons. In mid September, I began a regular study of Italian grammar, and soon I was able to write fairly good compositions. At Christmas, I went on to study Latin. By Easter, I was attempting Italian Latin and Latin Italian translations. All this time, I persevered with my usual acrobatics in the field or in the barn during the winter. Everything my teacher said or did, his every word, I could say, provided edifying material for my audiences. Just as I was patting myself on the back because everything was going so well, a new trial came in. A heavy blow fell that shattered my hopes. During the winter, when there was no pressure of farm work, Anthony was reasonable enough about the time I gave to my books. When spring came, however, and work was more pressing, he began to grumble that he was left to tackle all the chores while I was wasting my time and acting the gentleman. After some lively exchanges involving Anthony, my mother, and me, it was decided in the interest of my family peace that I should go to school in the morning and work in the fields in the afternoon. But how could I study? How could I manage the translations? Take note. The walk to and from my school afforded me some time to study. When I got home, I would take the hoe in one hand and my grammar in the other, and along the way, I would study until I reached the place of work. Then, glancing longly at the grammar, I would put it in a corner and begin hoeing, weeding, or gathering greens according to the need. Despite all my work and goodwill, Anthony still was not happy. One day he announced very decisively, first to my mother and then to my brother Joseph, that he could stand it no more. And they ensued a hot exchange of words and bitter fight. My mother was heartbroken. I was in tears myself, and the chaplain was upset too. In fact, when that worthy minister of God got to know how matters stood in our family, he took me aside one day and said, Johnny, you've put your faith in me, and I won't let you down. Leave that troublesome brother of yours and come and live in the presbytery. I'll take care of you. My mother was elated when I told her of this generous offer. In April, I moved into the priest's house, though I returned home to sleep. No one can imagine how supremely happy I was. I idolized Father Calasso, loved him as if he were my father, prayed for him, and tried to help him in every way I could. My greatest pleasure was to work for him. I would have died for him. I made more progress in one day with the good priest than I would have made in a week at home. That man of God lavished affection on me and he would often say, "Don't worry about the future. As long as I'm alive, I'll see that you want for nothing, and I'll make provision for you after my death."
Thank you for joining us today on this journey to know Don Bosco. May these reflections deepen our faith, guide us closer to God each day. And hope to see you all tomorrow. Till then, keep seeking, keep praying, keep growing.